Emma was a young nurse who had just finished a long and painful 48-hour shift in the emergency ward. Her eyes were heavy, her legs were shaking, and her mind felt like it was floating. She had seen too many patients, too many tears, too many emergencies. Now, she only wanted one thing: sleep. She walked through the airport slowly, almost like a sleepwalker. Announcements were loud, people were running everywhere, lights were bright. But Emma heard nothing clearly. Everything sounded like an echo inside her tired head. She checked her ticket with half-open eyes. Gate 7B, she whispered to herself. But because she was so tired, she did not notice that she was standing near Gate 17B, not 7B. One small number. But her life was about to change forever. A flight attendant smiled at her. "Good afternoon, miss. You may board." Emma blinked. Wow, this airline is so polite today, she thought. She nodded and walked forward, dragging her small bag. Her arms felt heavy, her eyes burning with sleep. The moment she stepped inside the plane, she stopped. The seats were huge. The floor was soft. There was golden light everywhere. It smelled like flowers, not like a normal airplane. Emma felt confused, but she was too tired to think. Maybe this is a new upgraded model. I don't care. I just want to sit, she told herself. She collapsed into a soft leather seat and closed her eyes. The seat felt like a cloud. Within seconds, she fell into a deep sleep. She didn't hear the doors close. She didn't hear the engine start. Shh. She didn't hear anyone whisper, "Sir, someone boarded without clearance." No. Emma was lost in dreams. After almost an hour, the plane shook a little. Emma slowly opened her eyes. For a second, she forgot where she was. But then her gaze stopped on something, or rather, someone. A man sat across from her, tall, sharp jawline, dark eyes that looked like they could read people, quiet power around him. He was not just handsome, he looked important. And he was staring directly at her. Emma sat up fast, her heart jumping. Hi, The man raised one eyebrow. His voice was deep, calm, and cold. "Who are you?" Emma froze. I'm Emma. I'm a nurse. I think there is a mistake." He looked at her for a long moment, like he was trying to understand something impossible. "A mistake?" he asked. "This is my private jet." Emma's mouth opened. No words came out. Private jet, private. Her mind almost stopped working. She looked around again. Now, she noticed everything. The huge space, the glass ceiling above the seats, the shining marble floor, a minibar at the corner, a bodyguard standing near the door. This was definitely not a normal plane. Emma felt her heart beating fast. She tried to stand, but her legs were shaking. I'm so sorry, she said. "I didn't know. I think I walked into the wrong gate. Please let me off the plane." The man's cold expression did not change. "We were already in the air," he said. Emma felt like the world fell from under her feet. "In the air?" she whispered. Double quotes, "Yes." The man leaned forward slightly. "And you were sitting on a jet that belongs to Adrian Blackwood." Emma blinked. She knew that name. Everyone knew it. Adrian Blackwood, one of the richest men in the world, a quiet billionaire with a mysterious life. Her stomach twisted. Adrian studied her face with a strange intensity. "What I want to know," he said slowly, "is how you managed to get on my aircraft without anyone stopping you." Emma had no answer. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to vanish. Instead, she whispered, "I'm just very tired." For the first time, Adrian's expression softened. Just a little. But the tension remained. The mystery remained. Emma had no idea how dangerous or meaningful this mistake would become. And Adrian, he had no idea that this tired nurse was about to change his life. Emma sat stiff in her seat, her fingers tightly holding the armrest. Her heart still hadn't slowed down. The word private jet kept echoing in her head. She wanted to wake up and find out this was a dream. But no, everything was real. Too real. Adrian Blackwood leaned back in his seat, his dark eyes never leaving her face. He looked calm, but the air around him felt heavy, powerful, controlled. Emma felt like she had stepped into someone else's. World someone important, someone dangerous, someone who never heard the word no. So, Adrian said slowly, "Tell me again. How did you get here?" Emma swallowed. "I came from the hospital. I was very tired. I misread the gate number. I thought this was a normal flight." Adrian raised one eyebrow. He thought, "This," he gestured around, "was a normal flight?" Emma felt her cheeks burn. "I didn't look. I just walked in." For a moment, Adrian said nothing. He simply studied her with the calm focus of someone who was used to solving problems quickly. Emma felt like she was being scanned by a machine. A tall man in a black suit, the head of security, stepped closer. "Sir, we checked the logs. She entered exactly at the moment we were finalizing the clearance. It seems to be a genuine mistake." Adrian didn't look away from her. "And why didn't anyone stop her?" The guard stiffened. She looked like she belonged, sir." Confident, walked straight in. Emma almost choked. Confident. I was practically sleepwalking. For a second, Adrian's lips twitched, like he almost smiled. Almost, but the tension returned immediately. "Our destination is Santorini," Adrian said. "The weather is too rough to turn back. You'll have to stay until we land." Emma's eyes widened. "Santorini? Can't go there. I have work." Adrian stood up. He was tall enough to make the large jet feel small. "Do you think I enjoy unplanned company?" he asked quietly. Emma shook her head fast. "No, of course not." I didn't mean he walked past her, but stopped when he reached her seat. His shadow fell over her. "Relax," he said softly. "No one is going to harm you." But his voice had a strange edge, like he wasn't saying it just to comfort her, but to remind someone else in the room, maybe himself. Emma nodded nervously and looked out the window. Clouds moved like white mountains. Far below, the ocean looked endless. Slowly, her breathing returned to normal. A flight attendant approached with a tray. "Miss, would you like water, juice, something to help you relax?" Emma shook her head. "No, I'm fine." But her stomach growled loudly. Adrian turned his head slightly. "When was the last time you ate?" Emma rubbed her forehead. "I don't remember. Maybe yesterday or this morning. I was working in the emergency ward." Adrian's eyes softened. "For 2 days straight." She nodded quietly. Adrian took the tray from the attendant and placed it in front of her himself. "You need food," he said. His tone was firm, almost like an order, but gentle too. Emma hesitated, but the smell of warm bread and fruit made her take a small bite. It tasted like heaven. Adrian watched her silently, his face unreadable. After a few minutes, the jet entered a smoother part of the sky. The tension in the room settled a little. Emma finally found the courage to speak. "Mr. Blackwood, I really am sorry. You must think I'm irresponsible." He sat down across from her again. "I think," he said slowly, "you are exhausted. People make mistakes when they are exhausted." Emma looked at him, surprised. "That's understanding of you." Adrian looked out the window. "Don't be mistaken. I don't like surprises, but I am trying not to make this harder for you." Emma exhaled. "Thank you." Silence fell between them, but it wasn't as sharp as before. It felt calmer, softer. Then Emma heard something, a whisper from behind the cabin door. "Sir." "Yes." "She looks exactly like the girl from the file." Emma's eyes widened. "The girl from what file?" She looked at Adrian sharply, but his expression gave away nothing. He simply closed his eyes for a moment, as if thinking about something deep, something important, something she wasn't supposed to know. Emma suddenly felt a chill. This wasn't just a mistake anymore. Something else was happening. Something bigger. Emma sat frozen in her seat. The girl from the file. Those words kept echoing in her mind like a warning alarm. She wanted to ask Adrian what that meant, but something in his eyes told her not to push him. Not yet. He looked calm on the outside, but inside. He looked like a man holding back storms. The jet flew smoothly above the clouds. The noise of engines was softer here, almost peaceful. But inside Emma's heart, nothing was peaceful. Adrian stood up and walked toward a small hallway inside the jet. "Come." he said without looking back. You should see the rest of the aircraft. It might help you relax. Emma hesitated. Part of her wanted to stay seated, stay safe. But another part, curious, nervous, and strangely drawn to him, made her get up and follow. She slowly walked down the soft carpeted aisle. The smell of sandalwood and something expensive filled the air. When she reached his side, Adrian pushed open a sliding door. Inside was a private lounge. Bigger than Emma's entire living room, there was a large sofa. Screen on the wall, bookshelves, a glass ceiling showing the clouds moving above them like a dream. A faint golden light shined across the room. Emma gasped. This doesn't look like a plane at all. Adrian watched her reaction, his expression unreadable. It's my second office, he said. I spend more time up here than on the ground. Emma walked slowly, her fingers lightly touching the soft couch. Must be lonely, she whispered. Adrian paused. No one expected her to say that. He looked away. Sometimes, he admitted, but loneliness becomes normal when people around you only want things. Emma turned toward him. Everyone wants something from you? He gave a small, humorless smile. You would be surprised. She didn't know why, but she felt a strange pull in her chest. Like she could feel the weight he carried, the tiredness behind his strong voice. For a moment, they simply stood there. Then the jet shook lightly, making Emma stumble. Adrian stepped forward automatically and caught her by the arm. The touch was brief, but enough to send a warm ripple through her. She quickly stepped back, cheeks warm. Sorry, she said. You should sit, Adrian replied, his voice lower now. You're still tired. Emma sat on the couch. Adrian sat across from her, elbows resting on his knees, watching her with those deep, sharp eyes. Tell me, he said gently. What made you so tired? The hospital must be difficult. Emma nodded. It is. Some days feel endless. Some nights never end. Her voice cracked slightly. We tried to save a child yesterday. We couldn't. Adrian's eyes softened slowly. I'm sorry. Emma took a shaky breath. I didn't plan to say that. You don't have to hide it, he said. I know what grief looks like. Emma met his eyes, and for the first time, she noticed something else in them. Pain. Old pain. Deep pain? Is that why you work so much? She asked. To avoid it? Adrian didn't answer, but his silence was an answer in itself. After a few minutes, he stood up again. There is something else you should see. He opened another door. Inside was a small bedroom with white sheets, soft lights, and a window with a view of endless sky. This is your room, Adrian said. You should rest. Emma's eyes widened. I can't take your room. He shook his head. I have another one. You need this more than I do. She felt something warm in her chest, again kindness, from a man who didn't seem to trust the world. But then, she noticed a file on a small table beside the bed. A black folder. Same design as the one she saw earlier in the office. Before she could ask, a voice came from behind the hallway, sir. We need to discuss the Santorini security arrangements. It concerns her. Emma froze. Adrian stepped closer, blocking her view of the folder. We will discuss it later, said sharply. The door slid shut. Emma sat on the bed, feeling the jet move gently through the sky. This was no normal trip, no normal mistake. Something about her being here felt planned, but by whom and why? Asterisk, when the jet finally began to descend, Emma felt her heartbeat rise again. She pressed her face close to the window. Below her, Santorini looked unreal. White houses stacked on cliffs, blue domes shining under the sun, and the ocean glowing like liquid silver. It's beautiful. She whispered. Adrian, standing beside her, watched her expression more than the view. Welcome to Santorini, he said softly. The jet landed smoothly. The moment the doors opened, warm Mediterranean wind rushed inside. Emma stepped out slowly, feeling as if she had entered a postcard. She adjusted her simple clothes nervously. This place looked too perfect, too rich. It's different from her world of hospital floors and long shifts. An elegant black car waited for them. A driver opened the door. Emma hesitated. Are you sure I should come? she asked quietly. Adrian looked at her for a moment before answering. You are already here. There is no quick return flight. And... He paused, his voice softer. You could use a break. She looked into his eyes, trying to understand him. There was no coldness there, no, only something warm under the surface, something she didn't expect. She got into the car. The drive through Santorini felt like a dream. Narrow roads, bright flowers on every corner, little cafes, children laughing, waves crashing far below. They passed it all. Emma kept looking out the window, her tired heart slowly opening. You like it? Adrian asked. I love it, she breathed. His lips curved slightly. Good. After 20 minutes, the car stopped in front of a villa on the cliff. It was white, peaceful, with a huge balcony facing the ocean. Emma stepped out, stunned. Is this where you're staying? She asked. Adrian shook his head. No, this is where we are staying. Emma's eyebrows lifted. The main villa is large. You will have your own room and privacy. I only thought it would be safer and easier if you stayed here, he explained calmly. But Emma knew. There was another reason, something unspoken between them. Inside, the villa was even more breathtaking. Marble floors, soft lights, windows showing endless water. A lady greeted them. Welcome, sir. The clothes you ordered are ready. Clothes? Emma turned to Adrian, confused. He cleared his throat. Since you came unexpectedly, I asked them to prepare some things for you. Comfortable clothes. You should feel at ease here. Emma's face warmed. No one had ever done something like this for her. A few minutes later, she changed into a simple white dress provided by the villa staff. It fit her perfectly, light and soft. When she stepped onto the balcony, Adrian was already there. Looking at the sunset, he turned and stopped. Emma felt her breath catch. His eyes softened in a way she had never seen before. You look. He hesitated, searching for the right word. Peaceful. Emma smiled shyly. It's the dress. And the view. It's not the dress, Adrian said quietly. They stood side by side, watching the sun melt into the ocean. A golden path formed on the water, reaching toward the cliffs. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Emma asked, Why do you come here so often? Adrian rested his hands on the railing. When my sister was sick, this was the place that gave me hope. I used to sit here and pray she would live. Emma looked at him, surprised. You have a sister? He nodded. You saved her once. At your hospital? Emma froze. What? I don't remember. You wouldn't, he said softly. There were many nurses around. But your name was in the report. The head doctor praised you. Emma felt her chest tighten. I'm glad she's okay. She is, Adrian whispered. Because of you. Silence settled again, warm, meaningful. A waiter came with dinner candlelight, soft music, delicious food. They sat across from each other, the air filled with gentle tension. Emma laughed lightly at something he said. Adrian looked at her like he wasn't used to hearing laughter near him. Do you always stay so serious? She asked playfully. He blinked, taken aback. No one asks me that. Well, I did. He leaned closer. And maybe that is why I find you. Interesting. Emma's cheeks warmed again, but before she could reply, the villa's security guard approached Adrian and whispered something. Urgent in his ear. Adrian's face changed instantly sharp. Tense. Emma felt her heart drop. Something was wrong. Emma watched the security guard whisper in Adrian's ear. His relaxed expression changed, instantly tight jaw, sharp eyes, focused. The warm atmosphere they shared only seconds ago disappeared like smoke in the wind. Emma stood up slowly. Adrian, what happened? He lifted one hand slightly, signaling her to wait. Then he turned to the guard. Where is the file now? Adrian asked quietly. The guard replied, In the office, sir, but someone tried to open it. Emma's heart skipped. The file? The same file she saw on the jet? The one with her name? Adrian's eyes flicked toward her. Not angry, not surprised, but something deeper. Like he already knew she had seen it. Stay here, Adrian said calmly. I'll take care of it. She stepped forward. No, I want to know what's going on. Adrian paused. The sunset behind him painted his face in gold, but the look in his eyes was unreadable. After a moment, he nodded. Fine. Come with me. They walked through the quiet villa hallway, the warm lights glowing softly on the white walls. Emma's steps were slow and heavy. She knew whatever she was about to hear could change everything. Adrian opened the door to a study room. Inside, on a glass table, was the same black folder she had seen earlier. A few pages were slightly out of place, as if someone had touched them. Emma stared at it. Why? Why is my name in your file? Adrian took a deep breath. He did not sit. He stood straight, his posture controlled, like a man preparing to open old wounds. It started 2 years ago, he said. My sister Ava had a severe accident. She almost died. The doctors were losing hope. Emma listened quietly, her chest tightening. You were the nurse who refused to give up, Adrian continued. The report said you stayed by her side for hours. You comforted her when she was scared. You noticed a small change in her heartbeat that even the machines didn't catch. Emma's eyes widened. I didn't know that was your sister. You saved her life, Adrian said softly. After that, I started supporting your hospital anonymously. Equipment, funds, new machines. All because of you. Emma felt a strange mix of warmth and pressure inside her. She had helped many patients, but she never imagined a billionaire knew her name because of it. But why keep a file on me? She whispered. Adrian walked toward the window, his back facing her. Because I wanted to meet you. The words hit her like a soft thunder. Emma whispered, Meet me? Why? For months, I searched for the right moment. Not as a billionaire. Not as a patient's family member. Just as a man who wanted to say thank you. He turned back, his eyes deep and open, more open than ever before. But when I finally decided to visit your hospital, your shift had changed. I missed you. So I asked my team to collect information, only to understand who you are. Emma looked down. You were looking for me all this time? Yes, he said. But I never expected you to walk onto my jet by mistake. A small, sad smile touched his lips. Life made the choice for us. Emma stepped closer. She could feel his emotions, now real, raw, honest. But why did your guard say I look like a girl from the file? She asked. Adrian hesitated. That was something else. Another case? Another investigation? He confused the files. Emma studied him. Was it the truth? It sounded real, but something felt slightly off. Maybe it was just her fear. Adrian stepped closer, his voice softer. I never wanted to frighten you. I only wanted to thank you. But now, he looked at her with a depth that made her breath stop. Now I want to know you. Emma felt her heart beating loud in her chest. Before she could answer, a phone rang sharply in the room. The guard rushed in. Sir, we have a problem, he said. There is someone outside the villa asking questions about the nurse. Emma froze. Someone looking for me? Adrian's face hardened instantly. Yes, he said. And whoever it is, they didn't come here by accident. The sweet Santorini calm was gone. Danger had arrived. Asterisk, the moment the guard said someone was asking for Emma. The warm Santorini air felt colder. Emma's breath caught. She looked at Adrian, hoping he had answers, but his face was tense, unreadable. Who is outside? Adrian asked sharply. The guard replied, a man. He refused to give his name. He only keeps saying, I need to find the nurse. Emma felt a chill run down her arms. I don't know anyone who would follow me here. Adrian stepped closer, lowering his voice. You are safe here. No one will touch you. His voice was calm, but his eyes were burning with protective fire. Emma swallowed hard. Why would anyone look for me? Adrian motioned the guard to wait outside the room. When they were alone again, he turned back to her. There is something you need to understand, he said. When you saved Ava, it wasn't just a medical case. It involved people who didn't want her alive. Emma's eyes widened. What do you mean? Ava witnessed something dangerous during her accident, Adrian explained. A man who didn't want the truth coming out. The hospital case was monitored because of that. Some people still think she might talk, Emma whispered, and they think I know something because I was her nurse. Adrian nodded slowly. They might think you heard something, or saw someone. Emma felt dizzy. She gripped the edge of the table to steady herself. I didn't see anything, she said. I was only doing my job. Criminals don't think like normal people, Adrian replied. They worry about anyone connected. Emma looked down, trying to breathe. So I was in danger without even knowing? Until now, yes. Adrian took a step closer, his voice lower and fierce. And I will not let anyone hurt you. Not again, not ever. There was a moment of silence, long, heavy, full of emotions neither of them said out loud. Suddenly footsteps hurried toward them. The guard returned. Sir? The man left, he said. But he dropped a note. Adrian took the note, unfolded it, and read it. His jaw clenched. Emma's voice trembled. What does it say? He handed the note to her. It only said, The nurse knows more than she thinks. Emma felt the world tilt. I swear I don't know anything. I believe you, Adrian said immediately, but we must stay careful. He placed the note on the table, then looked at her with something deep and protective. You will stay here tonight, he said. In this villa, with security? Emma shook her head. I can't hide forever, Adrian. I have a life. I have a job. Adrian stepped closer, so close she could feel the warmth of him. I know, and I won't trap you. But I need you to understand something. She looked up, her breath unsteady. When you walked into my jet, I thought it was a mistake, exhaled slowly. But now I know it wasn't. You came into my life exactly when you were meant to. Emma's heart beat faster, soft, scared, hopeful. She whispered, Adrian. He continued, voice gentle but full of emotion he never said before. I don't want this to end when you go back. I don't want this trip to be forgotten. I want more than just gratitude, or fate, or coincidence. Her chest tightened. What are you saying? I want you, he whispered. Not because you saved Ava, not because you walked into my jet, but because when you are here, my world feels less empty. Emma felt tears in her eyes, not from fear, from something warm, something powerful. But I live a normal life, she said softly. I'm just a nurse. I'm just a man, Adrian replied. A man who doesn't want to lose the best thing that ever walked into his life. Silence fell, soft as the ocean breeze. Emma took a slow breath. What if this is only temporary? What if we are too different? Adrian shook his head. Different does not mean impossible. Tell me you don't feel it too, and I'll take you home tomorrow. She looked into his eyes, honest, hopeful, afraid yet brave, and then she whispered the truth she had been holding inside. I feel it. Adrian's shoulders relaxed for the first time in days. A slow, real smile touched his lips. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Then, he said softly, let's face whatever comes next. Together. That night, as the moonlight spilled across Santorini, Emma stood on the balcony. Adrian joined her. No fear, no distance. Only the beginning of something neither expected, but both needed. They stood side by side, no jet mistake, no danger, no past pain between them now. Only a future waiting to be written. Together.